Now, the other day I was thinking, maybe I should actually try to get a job. I mean, I have tried to apply to things in the past, but now that I have my driving license, I could just sign up as an Uber Eats driver like today, and all I would have to do is get in my car, race around, and deliver people food. That actually sounds like a pretty fun job. However, after like 2 minutes of research, I realized Uber is basically scamming everyone, and their drivers aren't even getting paid minimum wage. So, I know, I'll just use my extensive game development experience to make a food delivery simulator, and then I'll release it on Steam and make millions. Why didn't I think of that earlier? So immediately after making a new project, I set up this basic movement system. But then it was time to work on the first crucial aspect of a delivery game, which is being able to pick things up and drop them someplace else. So I started working on picking up this cube. And at first it was a bit janky, but now you can pick this thing up and drop it. And here you can even see I've already set up a very basic delivery system where you basically just have to keep putting the red cube onto the correct delivery box. So I mean, I'm basically half of the way there. Just kidding, we still need a map for the player to actually run around and deliver stuff. Now, I want my game to be set in like a very American sort of cookie cutter small town where everything is identical and looks really plasticky, because I think it's going to fit the mood of the rest of the game. Also, this meant I could just duplicate the exact same house like 20 times and not have to model any new ones, which is obviously exactly what I did. And now we have a full street of houses that you can run down. Oh, and I also put this very rectangular building here, which is going to be the fast food place. And then essentially the entire game for now is just going to be picking stuff up from the restaurant and then delivering it to the houses on these two streets. And look, I know what you're thinking, Jasper, your map looks like shit, you stupid idiot. I mean, this interior is just actually depressing. Well, FYI, this is just supposed to be a very small prototype version of the map. So I will be replacing the buildings with actual assets at some point. But for now, I think they'll be fine for just getting the basic game loop down. Speaking of the basic game loop, the next issue is that we still don't have anyone to deliver things to. So, Yep, that looks great. So this guy is going to be our first customer to which we will have to deliver to. And with an actual NPC in the game, it meant I could start working on the logic for the delivery system, which is pretty simple. It basically just picks an NPC from the level at random, spawns the food, where as you can see, I've made the expert decision of attaching a triangular prism to my initial simple cube object, which immediately creates the appearance of a far more realistic and convincing fast food bag. And then when you deliver the correct bag to the correct customer, the whole thing restarts. And yeah, this was the only way I could think of actually delivering the food, which is why you can now stack Happy Meals on the customer's head, just like in real life. But with my delivery system essentially flawless, I started lining my NPCs around the proper map. For now, they all just stand still on the porch in front of each house, which is only a little bit creepy. I also added numbers on top of each of the houses, which just make it a lot easier to know which house you have to actually deliver to. At some point, I want to do this more subtly, and there'll be a mini map or something anyway, but this should make things a whole lot easier for now. In fact, I think we're ready for the first proper playtest. Okay, check this out. We are now in the game. As you can see, I added the cash counter to the top of the screen. You can also now see what house number we have to deliver the food to. So number 15. Great. But first we have to go to the restaurant in order to pick up the food. We just have to get there first. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then house number 15, somewhere on this street. And that's all it is. Okay, now the next one, house number 16, it just updated. I'm having a blast. This is great. This is really fun. This is probably the best game I think I've ever played. No, like definitely like $1 million potential. So after this initial playtest, I noticed several pretty obvious issues with the current state of the game. Essentially, it's really slow and boring, and it feels like it takes far too long to get to the fast food place from basically anywhere on the map. And most importantly, the whole actual process of delivering stuff doesn't really feel that fun, because it's basically the same thing over and over and over, where everything looks the same and is just really flat and empty. Obviously, the other thing is that everything still looks really bad because of my prototype assets. But I mean, at least now I know exactly what it is I should probably be working on in order to improve my game. But I'll get to that at some point. If you're at all curious what I've been up to the last few days, I've actually been programming this object placement system, where now, after picking up a food bag, you can place it anywhere you want. On the floor, on this box, up on this thing. Basically, I thought it was kind of lame that you could previously only drop items having them fall on the ground. So I just wanted to implement a more precise way of putting things down. And look at this, how sick. You can even rotate objects before you place them too. I know it might not look that insane, but this took me a bit to figure out. And I coded the whole thing myself, and now it works really well, so I'm pretty proud of it. As for how useful it's going to be for the current state of the game, I'm not too sure, because there's only one thing you can pick up, which is the food bag, and there aren't really any situations where you'd need to place it in a specific location. But I still think it's a pretty cool feature, and I'm sure it's going to be super useful at some point. As for the current state of the game, oh yeah, no, it's still really slow and boring. I probably shouldn't have spent as much time on my object placement system, but I guess I should probably quickly do at least something to try and fix some of the glaring issues with my project. Yep, and I'm done. Wow, that was quick. Yeah, no, thanks. It's quite simple actually. As we know, delivery drivers usually drive around on like a bike or a moped or something. So I've added this bike, which works really well. As you can see, you can get on it and you can even drive around. It is pretty quick, which is perfect, and you can even drift it around corners a little bit. For those wondering, this is exactly what riding a bike looks like. So yeah, problem solved. I think I'm done. Is this game of the year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Obviously, I am joking, and this is only the beginning. I'm gonna keep working on this, or maybe I won't, and you'll be like, oh, that's strange. Everything still looks really crap right now, so in my next video, I might learn how to actually do some 3D modeling and make some slightly better assets. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to not miss the next one. Okay, bye.